Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent His messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the messenger, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs, to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness. By giving will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to become arrogant in the power that you have understood and you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised. And This is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees, that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine, irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand. To be there to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle, which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to the 296th One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace and Justice here on Tuesday, October 17th, 2023. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute, Education Department, and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond, and I will be host once again in this weekly series of workshops. And once again, I have Mark as a co-host. Thank you, Mark, for being here. And I believe we're ready to get into the gist of today's presentation with members of the Universal Council. So let's get that ready, and please go ahead.
Hello, hello, beautiful souls, beautiful, beautiful souls. And I will say welcome, 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 Suswagatam to the beautiful energy of Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute organization. Welcome, welcome to the beautiful energy of all knowledge seekers, the beautiful knowledge seekers, the universal knowledge seekers. And welcome, welcome to the beautiful energy of all that is. Welcome to the beautiful energy of one nation, one planet, one race for justice and world peace, my dear one. Welcome. So I will say that I welcome Mehrnaz. She is going to share some of her experience or want to say something, what she's feeling. So welcome, Mehrnaz. Hello, Mehrnaz. Welcome. Maybe Mehrnaz, can you hear me?
I think she just dropped. No, she's still here.
Yeah.
Mernaz?
Hello, everybody, the beautiful souls, and thank you for reminding me. So I am glad that I'm here with you. In fact, what I'm going to talk about a little bit is that we in the meeting we decided that I talk a little bit about what it means to connect the souls. So for the newcomers, I just simply says, don't you think you can do it the first time the right way? It just needs intention. It just needs that, a little bit that we know now that we have a soul, which is the energy part of us, which is the consciousness kind of, which is one of the parts of our body and our existence. And the other one is, we call it soul of the physicality, which is the collection of the soul of all the cells of our body, which is managing the body part, material part, and they work together with the spiritual part, which we call soul, and it's energy part of us. So they work together. We are rather limited in material world, material part of our body, but in soul level, we have a lot to go. We can say we are illimited. The soul has a lot of energy, and we can expand it. It's elastic, and we can take it as much as we want. And the thing is also that with our soul and intention, We can cause the things. We can direct the things towards creation. And if we put our intention and we are positive about that, and we trust our soul, we create. So as far as people who are afraid to give from their souls, it's like we have money and we give, then we are poor. It's the opposite. The more we give from our souls, unconditionally, for somewhere, somebody, something which is needed, it comes back more. It's like elastic. You expand it, and then you live. It becomes more concentrated. That's why I can say that we get a point, like a prize, more than what we gave. That's how we elevate also our souls, because by giving to somewhere which is needed, then it adds to our elevation of our soul. And sometimes we feel it the same day, the day after we have done something, we have sent our prayers, we can call it, we gave from our souls to elevate somebody. We feel it, our life becomes a little bit changed. So it's something we can feel. It comes little by little. So how can we give? We just have to be comfortable. We just have to be in a situation like we want to receive somebody, or we want, we are available. We're just there. We don't have to go out and do something and do all that. And we are just sitting here, ready, available. And then we vagabond. We go by our souls wherever it takes us at first. And then, for example, when we are in collective connection of souls, we try to connect it to the souls just according to our own imagination, collect that higher part of our souls that to other people. And then focus, take it to the place which we think is needed. And it's kind of being available. We are available. Then where it needs to be elevated gets from our souls. We give from our soul for wherever there is need. And don't worry, it comes back bigger. And the whole work of us in this world to live and to make our souls better than when we came to this world. We are here like an examination, like to develop, like to make that seed of our soul from the first day we were conceived a big plant, a big flower, and not to let it rotten. How can you make it rotten and spoil? When we steal from our souls, we steal from in our actions, in our thinking, in our talking. Whenever we do something like a stealing, like hurting somebody, hurting something, we steal from our soul. And at the end, it has no force. It has no force to go anywhere. It's just like a feather. And we don't want that. We want to be the master of where we want to go, what we want to do at the end. So like we are working to raise our soul, because the real power is the power of the soul. the most enjoyable is the power of the soul, which is elevated. So we're just we just sit comfortably or wherever we are. We just stay in a situation of availability. And then we send our thinking and our soul. Little by little, we find where it is to wherever we are focused to help and to elevate. So that's the game of elevating the soul. And I wish that it was useful for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. We are present. Thank you, my dear Mehran, for explaining. And this is the beauty of the elevation of the souls, my dear beautiful souls. As we are connected after so many years, thousands of years, now we understand how the connection, the soul connection works. So elevating each other is a beautiful play we do always. And here we give this happiness to each other in services, in giving. So thank you, Mehran. Thank you, my dear. So there's a reading. And then I welcome Lisa. Lisa.
Hi, good morning. Thank you. Thank you, beautiful souls. We are the soul of peace. Thank you so much. That extract for is from last teaching to Mr. Keshe 507. A slight tilt the position of the air in respect to its vertical position has created the four seasons. A few degrees change. We see the summer, winter. We see the emotion of the air, the variant winds, and the rest of it. We have this in the other planets too, which are in vertical position. But because they are constantly at the same, what we call angle, in respect to the horizontal position, we don't get the seasons. But this few degrees change, it creates such a variety of rays in vegetation and different emotion of the planet and every other aspect of your lives. Or moods or emotions change. Because of the summertime, we feel happy. Wintertime, especially in northern parts, there are higher rates of suicide and everything else which goes with it. But as we look at the structure of the brain of the man, by looking at the structure and how the brain is positioned in respect to the whole vertically of the body of the man or be in the animals. By the scan, we have the knowledge in not ways we can determine the condition of the body of the man. We call it the brains on MS, the brain of somebody who has Parkinson. We say in this way, it's a bit of the desert, it's caused dementia. And in so many ways, man behavior of the man, the structure of the man, the way the magnetic fields of the soul with the interaction of the physicality of the brain, create the man, can be determined by the structure of the brain. We look at the scan, we don't understand them. We look at the picture of the air and we say, is a bit tilted? What happened when your brain tilts? What happened when the pressure changes in the brain in the skull of the man? If we can understand the interaction of the fields and we can understand the expansion of the field force within the center of the air, then we can, in a way, sort these things out. Thank you.
Now we can forecast how the weather is next year, next 30 days, how the fields will interact, where it's going to be cooler, where it's going to be hotter, possibility of the earthquakes, and the rest of it. If we look at the brain of the man, and if our, what I call, knowledgeable doctors look at the structure of the child at birth, we can predetermine what planet this planet is going to be. What is going to be outcome of this new soul? I had the opportunity, I had the pleasure of being able to look at the brain of the man. If we look at the magnetic field of the soul of the man, which is in perfection within the center of the brain, but according to the condition and the environment of its field strength of the soul of the physicality, creating conditions for the structure of life to be, then our scientists realize it's easier to understand the development of the soul of the man in interaction with the dimension of the soul of physicality, which is done to do with the dimension of the flow fields of the blood of the man, plus emotion. They don't need medication. They don't need to create chemicals and whatever, and we stigmatize them for different things because actually our illnesses are very simple. Our doctors have not understood how to handle these things. As it says, quote, it is technology in exchange for peace, unquote. And the peace only comes when our leaders understand that their power compared to the power of the creation and the knowledge cannot be matched. Every planet, every star has a soul and life within it. Does not matter if we see it physically with the eyes, or they're on the ground, over the ground, underground, or in the water, or in the atmosphere of it, as we have on this planet. And you just go on the internet, just put how many stars are in the universe, and then you understand how many we need. As simple as that. And Earth is not the only nursery, and there is no competition. And the soul of the man will create new stars. Those of you who have served your time right for the world of creation, and then you understand you are one of those who needs to be perfect. Thank you.
And it's even if we lose half of the 8 billion to become new stars and the one other half to elevate the others to become what we call the teachers of the future, then you understand it. 8 billion is nothing. It's not even a fraction of the stars in our galaxy. Do you have any further advice on how to eliminate these heavy fields? We all make mistakes, but in a way, the only way, or not the only way, one of the possible ways is to make available the freedom of the soul of the man and the soul of the man, and that may be those who we did injustice to, receive and find peace or find elevation with themselves. Sometimes you are not even aware of what we have done or what action we did has caused to the others. It's the way we can do. There is no other way. Elevating the soul does not come near, I give you because I did something wrong with my physical life, making it available in what I call loving. That's someone who we did injustice to, or whatever we did wrong, maybe they are not alive. Elevation goes to the soul, or whatever, in respect to. That's all we can do. There's no target. There's no address. There that we can go and deliver. I took your jacket. This is a jacket to wear. I am in the dimension of soul. I need no jacket. But I needed that jacket in the winter. And what do we do for it? And why do we do? Why do we do it? I have asked the question many, many times. Why do we come and get to these positions? And why, when we forgive, they think we are weak and they abuse more? So it's the only way is to be there, understanding that you might not even know by not even know when the energy that field is needed by who you have done wrong. And did you learn anything from it? There is no use being charitable and giving everything to everyone. That's in the dimension of physicality, as much as you have to do with it. And don't. As I said, the teaching today, don't look oh, I give all my soul. I give what is there to it in the essence of what is needed. Thank you so much.
There is no other way. We learn this. We'll learn this gradually and slowly. And usually the little things which we don't think even matter is the one which has actually made the change in other people's life. There is a point of common denominator interaction of all your souls together. And I think some of you, most of you, have felt that one. This is important for transmutation for the future time. Because of we added a system last week which we didn't have the week before. We never had it because of the tests we did with your soul. We added another one, and now this brings us to a more completion. The situation in the end of the month, that's another one, another cycle of adding up to the system. Literally perfecting it for the transmutation. You have to understand Keshe Foundation has two systems of flight. One is the one we developed for the space technology as a craft. You travel with what you call Magrav system, with the shielding and everything else. Then it's a second mode of transportation, which is transmutation. One, we move your physicality. One, we move the energy fields. In the physicality, we create a physical. You are used to aircrafts. We create. We give it the shielding. We allow a higher speed, faster communication, faster motion. In the energy, we create an envelope of that aircraft, which is your own soul. Then, on the path of the universal fields, you can travel anywhere. It's not one method, it's two methods of transport. One is physical, which we have shown with the Iranian development in Sharif Tehran University and the evolution in that side of the science. And one, which is the expansion of using the fields. Thank you.
Matter state versus the energy state of the creation. And this is how we, if you look at it in the matter state, we told you how to do it. You get them copper, nano-coated, make a GANs of it, and you have the energy of it in different form. In the energy level, we use that energy from that level for making condition of envelope and the strength of field of your amino acid for you to expand and to travel. When we encage you, when you encage yourself in. And so there are two methods of space travel, not one. And we've done enough with the physical condition. I'm sure you will see a lot of the because man likes to be in aircraft. You see this, especially with our cooperation now, coming up in the next few years with the two nations of Iran and China. And we still develop the transmutation side with the Chinese operation. This is instant, which is part of it will be. And we will see in the very near future the evolution of healthcare in China. You will see it. It's a constant operation where Keshe Foundation technology will come directly into operation. Large number of people testing, feeding, and the rest of it. As it says, it is technology in exchange of peace. And the peace only comes when our leaders understand that their power compared to the power of the creation and the knowledge cannot be matched. Thank you.
The governments can see the Oasis system working, energy, food, and everything else with it. But it is in such a large scale that at the moment, they cannot, they say, understand how we created a condition we created a huge amount of damage. Most of you, some of you know, when we did this test years ago. And we repeated the test again twice with the same outcome. And one of them even much more powerful. It is recorded by governments, by national structural organizations. The OASIS system is not something hard to create now with the new technology, new phase. But in creating it, that it changes the situation in where you are talking about. We have to sort the cause of the problem. I know exactly what you are talking about. I said once before, maybe you understand answering to a question. You must be of the lowest order in the size in life and the strength of the soul, and understand if you cut a man from his water, and today's what we call amenities, you don't do that to a dog, let alone to 1.5 million. And my worry is how now this people can live with their own conduct. They must be lower than dog. They're not human. They're evil. And we have the will to. They shall be punished, as you call it. But if we do that, it will be same as before. Only comes through elevation of the soul. Only comes by understanding their own shortcomings. A man is not powerful when he is at the point of power to do what he likes. A man is powerful when he is at his lowest. Be kind and generous, to be able to give with what he doesn't have to, some question mark here, give. And the situations we are talking about is not even in the realm of creation. So the answer is not oasis. The answer is creating condition. The oasis is for all of us by elevating the soul. And they do not create this condition. That's the end. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, my dear Moshpit. Thank you. All beautiful souls. Beautiful reading. Beautiful creating the balance of emotions. Beautiful, beautiful. And more learning how to create balance. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now we can go to the next slide, Julie. Here are the beautiful wishes. The wishes so simple, but so strong in the peace strength, I will say. So I welcome Mark to read the wish, if you may. Thank you.
Yes. We, the Universal Council, gives from our soul for the elevation of the soul of all world leaders to bring peace. Our wish is our command. Thank you.
We are present. We are present. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now we can go to the next slide, Marjorie. This is another beautiful wish, my dear beautiful souls, for all souls that exist. We, the Universal Council, give from our soul in peace, so that each soul takes what it needs. Beautiful. We are present. So we can go to the next slide. Madhu. So here's the soul connection. Today, I'm Shwetanda, using Hindi language. I will, but I will say in Bengali language the soul connection. And first, I will say it in English. Maybe the translation is not exact, but because words differentiate, so I will say, take a deep breath. On behalf of the Bengali community, I will be talking, and for all. And we know language is no barrier now, but still, I will say, take a deep breath, as breath is life and living, and you are prepared to give. Breathe out and focus what you want to do. Create the intention always, create the wish, and be the giver. As somebody says, I am the giver. So be a giver, create this condition of balance within you by breathing in and breathing out as a receiver and a giver. And then give this unconditional love, elevating all the souls, all that is in existence. So this is in English, and I will say in Bangla. আপনারা সবাই নিজের গভীর নিঃশ্বাস নিয়ে আবার নিঃশ্বাসটা ছাড়বেন। এটা একরকমের মনে করেন একরকমের অনুভব বা প্র্যাকটিস আপনারা করতে পারেন, যেটাতে আপনারা গ্রহণ আর সেবা করার একরকম একটা আহ, একটা একটা স্থান যেটা বানাতে পারেন, যেটা খুবই সুন্দর একটা সম্পূর্ণতার মধ্যে থাকবে। আর এটা বারবার করলে এটা একরকমের আহ আপনাদের অনুভবের মধ্যে আরো জুটবে, যেটা আমি বলতে পারি। কেন কি আহ হ্যাঁ, একাগ্রতাটা আসবে। আর এই নিয়ে আপনারা একরকমের সেবা ভাবে নতমস্তক হবেন। নতমস্তক আমি বলছি না কি আপনাদের ফিজিক্যালি নতমস্তক হতে হবে, এটা একরকম একটা ভাব। তো তো আমি বলছিলাম যে আপনারা গভীর শ্বাস নেবেন, আবার ছাড়বেন। এই জীবন, এই জাগৃত অবস্থায় সবাইকে ভালোবাসবেন, দেবেন অনন্য ভালোবাসা, আর আত্মার উন্নয়নের জন্য সবার জন্য সবাই শুভকামনা দেবেন আর ভালোবাসাও দেবেন। তো এই নিয়ে আমরা আরম্ভ করি। নাও উই স্টার্ট দ্য ডিপ ব্রিদিং অ্যান্ড স্টার্ট দ্য সোল কানেকশন। এখন আমরা আরম্ভ করি আবার আত্মার উন্নয়নের জন্য। Thank you very much, beautiful souls. Thank you so much for being here with full of unconditional love in the giving position, giver. And this is so simple. And we are always doing it, as we have this knowledge, this ability. So focusing on various things is very good in practice. So this is our responsibility. So in the soul connection, my dear one, thank you for being here. And salam namaste. And now we can go to the next slide, my dear Rick. Here's the plasma connection video from Claudia, beautiful Claudia. And the answer is from Mary. And the presentation is from Mary, I think. Yes. So we can go forward and have the beautiful presentation. Thank you.
Okay, this is from the plasma connection video, and it's number 100, and we're starting at 49 minutes and around 18 seconds. Okay, I'll start now.
Then we are on the second question. By saying that the Creator is at the center of the earth, can we understand that there are lives and other races and dimensions at the center of the earth?
Então, a segunda pergunta é: ao dizer que o Criador está no centro da Terra, podemos entender que existem vidas, outras raças e dimensões no centro da Terra?
And the first answer, life is everywhere, in every corner of the creation. Why should the Creator only be at the center? The Creator, by his creation, is part of everything, the common denominator. Understand the line of communication, our soul, earth, sun, solar system, galaxy, universe, unicos, up till our Creator, and vice versa. Don't forget to send him your unconditional love and see what comes back.
Então, outra resposta é: a vida está em toda parte, em cada canto da criação, porque o Criador deveria estar apenas no centro. O Criador, por meio da sua criação, faz parte de tudo, o denominador comum. Entenda a linha de comunicação: nossa alma, a Terra, o Sol, o Sistema Solar, galáxia, universo, únicos, até o nosso Criador e vice-versa. Não se esqueça de enviar a ele seu amor incondicional e ver o que retorna.
And there is another answer. Saying that the Creator is at the center of the earth, we mean that the Creator is the axis, the essential substance of everything that exists. We are not just talking about the earth. We are talking about the universe, the galaxies, the planets, and any manifestation of life created. That is why the Creator is the center, the starting point around which absolutely all fields revolve. Because we are not talking only about the state of matter, but a plasmatic level.
Então, dizer que o Criador está no centro da Terra significa que o Criador é o eixo, a substância essencial de tudo que existe. Não estamos falando apenas da Terra, estamos falando do universo, das galáxias, dos planetas e de qualquer manifestação de vida criada. É por isso que o Criador é o centro, o ponto de partida em torno do qual absolutamente todos os campos giram, pois não estamos falando apenas do estado da matéria, mas em nível plasmático.
And then there is another answer. The creator, from my understanding, is that at the center of any living being, as we are all connected with the creator and the creator is in all of us. The creator always confirms his existence by creating other creations. So I do things all together and cannot be a creator without his creations.
Ao dizer que o Criador está no centro da Terra, podemos entender que existem vidas, outras raças e dimensões no centro da Terra. O Criador, pelo que entendo, está no centro de qualquer ser vivo, pois todos estamos conectados com o Criador, e o Criador está em todos nós. O Criador sempre confirma a sua existência criando outras criações. Assim, faço coisas todas juntas, e não posso ser um Criador sem suas criações.
Then there is another answer. Where there is balance of beauty and totality exists the creator. Position of unconditional love. Yes, there are many dimensions of civilizations, life and living in the center of earth as a soul and an entity.
Então, onde existe equilíbrio de beleza e totalidade, existe o Criador, na posição de amor incondicional. Sim, existem muitas dimensões de civilizações, vida e existência no centro da Terra, como uma alma e uma entidade.
And there is another answer. There is life everywhere in the universe, even in the center of the earth. But in what dimension? Energy or physicality? I don't know. The creator is in the center of the earth because he is in all his created creations. Even in you and me, we are all created out of the same, the fields of the creator.
Então, há vida em todo o universo, até mesmo no centro da Terra. Mas em que dimensão? Energia ou fisicalidade? Eu não sei. O Criador está no centro da Terra, porque está em todas as suas criações criadas, até em você e em mim. Todos somos criados da mesma forma, pelos campos do Criador.
And then we are on the third question. Does the human soul age as well?
Thank you. Thank you, my dear Claudia. Thank you, my dear Mary. Thank you, my dear Vic, for presenting this video. So beautiful, beautiful interactions, I will say. So thank you. Now, I want to welcome Mark for the information about the soul connection at 9 p.m. Mark, please. Hello, Mark.
Okay. Rick, I don't know if you have that formal invitation in a way that the Universal Council has invited the entire Keshe family to participate in this process. So this is an active participation that you can be part of the change on this planet, of giving to the soul of this planet, as well as all of its inhabitants, and even those who have gone on, such as the prophets, perhaps family members, relatives, your grandfather, and so on, for their elevation. And this is, as we heard in the video, basically to those who have become messiahs. And of course, you're the messiah of yourself and no one else, but you can learn to give from the soul, which leads to elevate. So we're learning to give, almost like creating an oasis in a way, learning to give, learning to serve. So there's a meeting every day. Again, it's not in Zoom or Telegram, but if you'd like Zoom or Telegram, I think the Brazilians have a daily intention at 2 a.m. CEST. Everything is basically run off of the CE Central European time. So you'd have to calculate 2 a.m. for daily intentions. And then on Wednesday, you can meet in the Brazilian Telegram group at 6 p.m., I believe it is, CET, CEST time, for the elevation of all souls, world leaders, religious leaders, and so on. And of course, by joining together, we're increasing the strength of the fields. I know Mr. Keshe talked about having a bouquet. If you have one flower in a jar, that's very nice, very delicate. But when you put many different flowers together in the jar, you have a beautiful bouquet, and you have a combination of many different field strengths. So this is the idea that at 9 p.m. CEST, you can join together and increase the giving. Again, this is not something that many are comfortable with in giving. We certainly like taking, but we're learning to give, and not in so much in the dimension of physicality. We're not asking you to take all your clothes off and give it to the poor and run around that way, but to give in the dimension of energy. A lot of us haven't been aware before the Keshe Foundation that we're actually operating in two dimensions. One is the physicality, and the other one is the dimension of energy, which you're all doing if you don't understand that. And that's when you have a dream. It's actually the work of the soul. So we're learning in this second part of creating the Dome of Peace by using our fields. We're huge fields generator that we can give. And as Mehran has said, to give, to be available, to allow your fields to be available. The souls know what's needed and where it's needed. But it's this process of learning to give. I know Mr. Keshe said, when you make your first MagRav system, give it away. And I'm thinking, why would you give it away? It may not be correct. It may not be complete. But this is the process of learning in a way to give. Mehran, could you mute your mic, please? So if we think about it, one drop of rain is not much. It can't really do a lot, but combining a few drops together, now perhaps we get a puddle, and combining a few more drops together, we get a small stream. Combining more drops of rain together, we get a bigger stream or a river. And that river can then feed animals. It can feed gardens. It can elevate the soil to produce more. So this is the idea of joining together at 9 p.m. CEST every day, 7 days. And again, nobody's checking if you're there or not. And you can even be multitasking when you're doing it. You can be driving your car, working on something, writing a paper, or so on. I think the soul is a multitasker. We're also learning to multitask. So by joining together, we can increase the strength of the fields. And in the strength of the fields, it will be more powerful. We're much more powerful together than we are individually. So if you can learn to give energy from your soul, which we're learning we're a huge field generator, this will lead to elevate, whether it's the soul of the planet, the soul of the world leaders, the soul of the religious leaders, family members, and so on. We always thought we had to operate in the dimension of physicality to make something happen. And we're quite expert in that dimension, but we're not so sharp in the dimension of energy. And this is what we're learning to do. and to give. And this is the key, is as we see one of the final slides in this meeting, we're here to serve and not to be served. But again, you don't have to serve so much with your physicality by giving things away and so on. You can serve in the dimension of energy, which there's no cost to it. It works very well. It's much more powerful. And it works much better than if you were to go out and try to write letters to change things or make telephone calls, send emails, and so on. So we're learning to work in this dimension of energy. And by providing the energy, we will see the manifestation of our wishes in the matter state. So if it's your wish to see peace, path of peace is made very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness. By giving, will create this position of change. I think we heard that in the first video that Rick played. So that's the idea of joining together collectively for the elevation of the planet and all its inhabitants, and even throughout the universe. As we learned in one of the monthly sessions, we can even connect and elevate the soul of the physicality of the prophets, that they can then take another step in their development. And as Myrna said, by giving, you receive more back, that you can then use that to give even more. So you're all invited to do it. Rick, I think that was in your telegram, that invitation. But again, it's something that, again, we're meeting in the dimension of energy at 9 p.m. CEST, CET time. And you're all invited to participate, whether you'd like to spend a second, a minute, 5 minutes on that process. And you can also remind your soul about it, even if you forget. The soul loves to give, just like the sun. So we invite you and we thank you for participating and your continual participation in these processes, whether you'd like to meet in Telegram or whether you'd like to meet in the dimension of just energy or meet in both. You're all welcome to be part of that. And this is how we're going, thank you, Rick. And this is how we're going to bring the change. The Universal Council invites the Keshe family and the Universal Council family in unifying at the soul level every day at 21 p.m. CET for the elevation of all souls and the protection of the physicality in the universe. Thank you, Universal Council. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, my dear Mark.
Thank
So
you, Mark.
beautifully you said. Yes, thank you. And yes, it's an invitation, a welcome from our heart and soul to all souls. Welcome to the dimension of souls, beautiful souls in the beauty and totality. So please do join. Have a little bit time of this timeline. Even you're cooking. Thank you. Thank you, my dear Mark. Thank you so much. Now we can go to the next slide. Here is a clip to show from Keshe Foundation workshop, Knowledge Seeker workshop number 507 of 12th of October 2023. Thank you.
Okay, as Shweta said, this is an excerpt from the 507th Knowledge Seekers Workshop from last Thursday, October 12th. And we're starting at about the 1 minute and 16, or sorry, 1 hour and 16 minute timestamp. Okay, I'll begin now. We address questions.
The same as usual. Really the same as usual. If there are any questions to answer, we try and see what we can, how we endeavor to understand it, to answer it. The usual way we make announcements if there is a need. We don't have any announcement. The process for the London conferences and Congress and the whole week session of teaching is going on. The advertising should start on the 16th, international invitation. And the venue, thanks to one of our dearest knowledge seekers, already been fixed. Is for the ambassadorial meeting. Is in one of the most prestigious locations and could not be any better position. And the invitation to ambassadors to London will start next week. Public announcements on media, international media starts the following week. And we will see how the promoters we have brought in this time do the work. And on the back of that, we're trying to get agreement from the Chinese authorities to hold the event in Beijing in December or January. And these things are not so easy in China. Needs approval of many things to be done. And hopefully we should be able to get an agreement in holding the third session in China. And from then on, we move on to Tokyo, Beijing, and then from Tokyo to most probably Tehran, and on Washington and beyond, as we were planning before the corona, as you saw. We started giving conferences in different countries, and the corona came to a halt. It's a continuation, but this time it's not just a conference. We show technologies on the edge. We have agreements with our, what we call partners, what will be shown in public and what cannot be shown in public. And this will gradually will explain the developments which will be kept away from what we call public, as part of the development and cooperation with nations, and part which affects the public life, which be like agriculture and energy and the rest, which will come through in 2024 through our partnership agreement with the Chinese government. And we'll go with that way. Those of you who are trying to attend the conference in London, be it the whole Saturday 2 sessions, or ambassadorial meeting, or for the week session long, please complete your ways, because after the 16th, we will literally do not see capability to control anything, because now it goes in the hand of the promoters, and they have their own ways of doing things, and the operation of the running of what they call organizing, the accepting the people is with the organizers. If you have a specific person you think should be invited or should receive the information if they want to join a meeting, like your prime ministers or whatever, you can send the information to info@keshe.foundation, and we pass it on to the promoters. Many of you have sent us the links to your prime ministers, to the high-ranking officers of your government. We have 2 levels of invitation: those who we invite, like the ambassadors, and those who receive the information. They have to register for the conference. So the most leading people are on the list of the invitation. We have invited NASA's, will come in through, and people from Tesla, because we will affect the work of this company heavily, both on the space and the vehicle side. The development and release of the levitation cars, what we call it, through plasma magnetic fields, will bring an end to electric cars, and an end to energy consuming conditions. So we have invited those who are going to be affected, and those who you think might affect their work, to be in the conference. This conference has, as I said before, a special link set up for world leaders Zoom session, which means any of your world leaders, your presidents, your prime ministers, who cannot, and they cannot come to London because of what we call problems with receiving such people, world leaders are allowed to join live in the session through a specific way. We know they them and set up with them to see the presentation, to see the change. And it's for them how to set up the situation with their governments. If you remember in 2011, 2012, we gave the key with the technology. This time through Zoom, we, instead of giving the key to the ambassadors are present and the leaders will watch what is to come. And the beauty of this time, you as knowledge seekers, see what your leaders know and what they don't do or do about it. There's one thing for fact, that the technology implication and implementing it will be very rapid in 24, 25 in China. We are part of it, we watch it, and how we are influencing the change and the thinking of the government. The biggest problem for us has been to change the mindset and allowing the people to follow. If you would have said 10 years ago, man of 90, man of 80 does not know how to use a phone. Now we see men of 100 with a mobile phone in their pockets and they are more active than the 18 years old because they talk to everyone they couldn't do. They are so active on the pages of the web that is unbelievable. So we need to educate. You need to educate your nationals, your government. If you have and you are a member of people who are influential and have a direct access to your presidents or what you call the leaders, this is only for your presidents. They will be given a direct line zone. We know 5 presidents today will be on the line. We know who they are. They already accepted our invitation. So the whole seat is set for it. We have asked for one of the world top 5 nations to send the opening message for the opening of the conference. If accepted, to give the message of peace on the opening of the Keshe Foundation conference in London. As he says, it is technology in exchange for peace. And the peace only comes when our leaders understand that their power compared to the power of the creation and the knowledge cannot be matched. As I said many times when I used to business, us businessmen make you politicians, and us scientists make the world leaders. And what we deliver to the armies, what we deliver to the space technology dictates the strength of the nation, who becomes to dictate. And in that position, we have found a perfect partner in creating peace through the people who we collaborate with. So if you have access to, or if you want agencies, be it environmental, be it what do you call space or whatever in your country, or people you know should be in London, send us the email, who they are, what they are, and we pass it on to the promoters and they'll be sent the invitation. In any case, we are literally converging on London for the London conference and the Congress and the week session of teaching. And I hope you will enjoy your time with us. Are there any questions?
Oh yes, we have lots of questions today, Mr. Keshe. Get my glasses on and have a look at the YouTube here to start with. From Peng Peter in YouTube. If 8 billion is not enough for space colonization, then what is the appropriate number needed for men to explore, live, and be present across the universe?
The answer is very easy. Every planet, every star has a soul and life within it. Does not matter if we see it physically with our eyes or they're underground, overground, in the water or in the atmosphere of it, as we have on this planet. And you just go on the internet and just put how many stars are in the universe. And then you understand how many we need. As simple as that. And Earth is not the only nursery. And there's no competition. And
We can
the soul
stop
of
here.
man will create new stars. Those of you who...
Yeah, I think Lucy wanted to play through to the 33-minute mark, but if you want to stop here, we can, sure.
Okay, we can play. Play to 33 minutes.
I thought
Okay.
the clip, we're already past 33 minutes, aren't we? I thought the other clip started at 12 or something. And then
yes, you're right. You're right.
Sorry.
I was looking at my notes in the wrong way here.
Yep, no problem.
Okay, sure. We can stop it here.
Problem. And the other thing I just want to mention, for those who won't be in London, you can obviously connect on the soul level. But Mr. Keshe said they're going to take this basically on the road. I know he mentioned Tokyo, he mentioned Washington, he mentioned Tehran, and there'll probably be a list of other nations who will want to be included, or perhaps who are already included. And if you're in that country, you can travel to your capital or wherever the conference will be held and probably be part of it there, supporting and explaining, as you understand it, the technology to those officials, scientists and others who are present. So this program, this show, in a way, this conference will be taken on the road and probably replicated and showing very similar as what's being shown in London. I'm not sure. There's certain technologies that'll be shown in different places, probably at different times. I don't have the agenda. I don't know the agenda, but the plan is to take it across this planet and to show not only the governments, but also the nationals, what is available. Technology, space technology, in exchange for peace.
Thank you, Majid. Space technology in exchange of peace. Beautiful. So, thank you. Now we can go to the next slide, next clip again from Knowledge Seeker Workshop 007. Thank you.
Okay, I think we're playing from the around the 18-minute mark here. And the again, the 507th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. Okay, I'll just get that shared. Okay, let's begin.
MS brain is, just go down to the one below, if you can bring it up a bit. Yeah. If you look at this brain, usually what we see in the back, there's a ditch at the bottom. If you can open it, you see it. That ditch at the bottom of the picture on the left-hand side gives you the first signs of something is wrong in the structure. This is that tilt. This is that deviation. And if with the technologies which we have developed, like the application of the ganses, which you know how to make, changing the emotion of us in respect to the planet to correct the condition by the gases you throw at the oceans and the gases you produce to change the environment. If we change the environment of this brain, and that ditch goes back to where it was originally, which you can pull it forward just a little bit, then you understand there is no difference in forecasting the structure with emotion and the weather forecast. These images gives us exactly what we see on Earth. Droughts, hills, curvatures, rivers, flow of information, but all this has a center in the center of it, which is the soul of the man. In the interaction with the physicality and the blood flow, the emotion which we bring to it dictates how these ditches, how these changes come in. And our doctors and scientists should be able to ratify this by simply strengthening the soul of the man. Weaknesses brings these deviations. Weaknesses brings these changes. Weaknesses which brings the condition of the what we call interaction of the fields of the emotion of the physicality, the emotion of the soul of physicality and the soul of the man. In a way, our physicality is a slave to interaction of the two fields of the emotion of the soul and soul of physicality. When the emotion of the man in the dimension of physicality is not satisfied with the condition of his environment, the environment in the terminology is people you live with, environment you live in, interaction with the society, interaction with your siblings, interaction with your boss, interaction with your children. These are the hurricanes, the tornadoes, the beautiful warm summers, the leaf flowing and everything else. We have not understood that we cannot separate the way, the shape of our brain is and the planet we live on. The shape of our brain, the structure of our brain talks about a desperate situation, incomplete situation. Many times when I used to make the fly systems, I always said, when would man understand he is flying halfway? Instability comes from the bottom end. When you look at the structure of the earth, when you look at the structure of physicality of the earth, when you become wise to understand this, you'll find out we are a flying object. We are absolutely uncontrollable flying entity. Our brain tells us, the structure of our brain dictates this to us. And we need to understand this. If you look at the earth, it has symmetry on top and the bottom, left and right. It's a spherical shape. When you look at the brain of the man, it has a top half. Parts is missing. We have compensated through a nerve system. We call this spine, the rest of the shape of this matter. If you look at the reactor in the center of the lens, in the exhibition center, the blue one which was shown years ago, you see the similarity between the Keshe Foundation and the brain of the man. where we have brought this body of the man into the central point. We have brought the soul of physicality in the center, where the soul of physicality of man as a blood flow goes around to it. Perfection in all dimensions needs totality. So you can understand by looking at this feature from the birth, point of inception, we should be able to tell how our children, how our faces, how our features going to be. A lot of people talk about the stem cells. The stem cells is copying something, but not understanding the totality of the creation. And when you look at the structure of the brain of the man, you'll find out that when there is something wrong in this half because of the shape and connection through the spinal cord, this has to adjust itself to it. And then when the storm comes and the brain is slightly tilts in, the physicality has to respond in the dimension of its interaction. Paralysis, limbs, arms not working. We always said the problem with Earth is that it has not, in the process of its creation, provided the totality of what life needs on this planet, that has created a man to kill, created the animals for that extra energy to be gained to do all sorts of. And this half circle, this half shape of the brain is replaced with the physicality in the field of strength-wise, that it has created the whole problem of the creation. And this is what now we have to understand. With the new systems, with adding, bringing in the what we call the head units, the other system technology developed by us, we try to expand this, that the totality in field interaction will reach and complete while the physicality is still in position. In a way, we allow the soul to complete what was not done, what was not be able to be achieved by the soul of the physicality of the man to complete the circle. In expansioning the soul, in expansion of its spherical shape, we create a completion, but this time is perfect. In a way, the physical body of the man becomes an accessory and a tail which is added to the soul of the physicality as to the soul of the man. If you understand this, then you understand why the first spherical systems I developed, tested in Iran Sharif Tehran University, could fly, could take off, because it's double core. Abroad, you call it the double core, I call it the soul of physicality. Abroad, the soul of physicality, inside the soul of the man, while the fields are in balance with each other. If you look at the shape of the systems, you came to length and you sat in, we have again emphasized you come in with that shape, you have a soul, you call it in the center, we bring it in, you call it, you go to the state of dream. And I said many people who came and went through it, they say blurred, we see you, but you're blurred because the soul field has surpassed the physicality. And in that process, if you gradually, step by step, allow the physicality to catch up with the interaction of the fields, then you see any deviation, any fault, any mishaps in the creation or the damage of the brain of the man will find to balance his energy into perfection of itself. And you call it, now he's changed. He has no more this condition or that condition. But in fact, what we've done, we have understood the process of the creation. So when we come to explaining the seasons, we call it the autumn, storms, rain. We call it in our brain different diseases. But in fact, it's the same. A new position in respect to the sun, to the soul, gives us different condition and environment. So is the same with the soul of the man. And what energies we can, what strength fields we can allow, what conditions we create with our systems around the brain of the man will dictate how man will look, how man will be in a coming time, in a coming process, in reality of totality of the existence. Then when you move this soul, when you move this central energy to another position, then in interaction of itself with the soul of physicality of itself will create a condition that the soul of physicality in the interaction with the soul of the man and the environment will give man a new shape. Where at all time, the emotion of the soul of physicality and the emotion of the soul of the man in interacting with each other, being in balance with each other, dictates the manifestation of the perfect physical life at any position in the universe. Now we see there is no difference between the man and the planet which created it, and the star which created the whole structure of the environment, and the galaxy and the universe. They're all the same. Different winds, different flows. What we see on Earth, we call it the winter storms. We open to space, we have magnetic storms. We have to understand the condition of the universe. Where is the winter time? Because even our own galaxy is not in the right angle with the center, with our central force fields of the universe. So it has its seasons. Our galaxy has its own condition and environment, and the storms and everything else. What is in macro is in micro. It's for man to understand. It's for man to gather the intellect, understanding. If man can manage to handle the storms with his own brain, with his own structure, his own physicality, man can handle everything else in the universe. Because the brain of the man is one of the most complicated systems, but in fact, all connected to the operation of the soul within the center of it. Do you battle in different positions? Or do you handle the strength of the center that the position is becoming irrelevant because you adjust to it? The fields adjust themselves to it. You don't need to do anything. Fighting takes time, fighting takes energy. But if you can be with it, go with it, create the condition of the field flow with it, you'll survive.
I think that's about where she wanted that to end. We could go on forever probably, but
Yes, it's mesmerizing sometimes and go on forever. But this is the beauty, you know, when our teachers teaches us, we like in the level of that understanding, creating this unconditional love always. And yes, we all have this ability to understand also how to create, how to understand our own self, how we are, how we are connected with the cosmos, with the world, with everything that is. So thank you, Madhu. Thank you. So we can go to the next slide, Madhu. There's a presentation about the transmutation of light by Team Brazil. I mean, only to uh, the image, and there's about the November 24th um, transmutation of light presentation. Have you have the picture, Rick?
Yes, I'll put that up now.
Okay, thank you. Yes, beautiful. I I can read from the yeah, from the telegram. Um, transmutation of light. Book the virtual seat for your soul. And uh, hosted by our dear Rafael. And here is this transmutation of light. In this session, we try the complete version, and I apologize, the complete version I will read that has been posted properly. Yes. In this session, we try to show in this session, we try to show the possibility of creation of light through the interaction of the piece within the body of the man and its environment. Transmutation of light. Beautiful. And you can book the virtual seat for your soul. And it's on Friday, November 24th, 2023. And there's a booking amount. I think it's with €500 plus VAT. And you can join anytime. And this is the beauty of transmutation of light. As we are all experiencing that in a way, if you're even not booking, and if you are even not booking, you are in the transmutation of light, my dear, with your intention. If you intend to do that, you are in the transmutation of light. So please join, please be in the transmutation of light from the whole world to be here, because this is the beginning of new human cycle. This is the beginning that has been begun, I will say. This is the beginning of all unconditional love. So here is one thing. Wait. Um,
Yes, let me.
Connecting. Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, please. Which?
Maybe I can read the text which came with that image, but also this is the link. I'll put the link in the chat for people to be able to sign up for that transmutation of light workshop. And I'll just put those in our other chats as well. And if we go back to that previous image, there's some text which goes with it, which is With the new space plasma technology, as proven on the 16th of December 2022, during the Keshe family Christmas plasma flight, man has reached the level where one can interact with the soul of its creator without the intermediaries in whatever name, where one can be enlightened with the knowledge of the creator and its creations through one's soul. In this session, we tried to show the possibility of creation of light through the interaction of the fields within the body of the man and its environment.
Beautiful. Thank you, my dear. And I will invite, I welcome all beautiful souls. Have any, in this presentation, Transmutation of Light, have any question or any, anything to share, my dear beautiful souls, or anything to interact in this unconditional love, you are so much welcome. Welcome.
This is Mosfet. I would like to talk a little bit about the transmutation aspect that we are learning. Not too long ago, our awareness of what we call now the soul was fairly limited. And limited in the sense that, yeah, we know something like soul exists and, what it does, how we can interact with it or things like that is something was not part of our, activities, so to speak. So as time went on, with our understanding of plasma science, we learned about the existence of the soul, how to detect it, and how to feel it, and started using its capacities. And in a way, it has become second nature, the presence of the soul. And we use it in many different ways in these meetings and outside these meetings, and affecting events. And often with awareness of global proportion. And some may even go further. But the operation of the soul, the field or energy side of our existence, is something very powerful. At the same time, it requires our understanding and learning. And we have just opened the operator's manual, so to speak. And we are operating, and it's a wonderful feeling, we all know here. And with the assistance of the enhancement unit, this process is being accelerated. So the fields of the soul has our interaction with the fields of the soul, we can rely on the assistance of this enhancement unit to explore it further. Now we are using it in various different ways in all the meetings that we have, all that with the enhancement unit. And this meeting, the meeting of the transmutation of light, This in particular has one of those interesting attributes is that is the interaction with the soul of physicality and the environment. To some extent, soul of physicality, we have seen the use of interaction with the soul of physicality we have seen in handling addiction, in quenching our thirst and our, taking care of our hunger and things like that, as well as, health benefits. Sometimes we go to these meetings with enhancement unit. We do certain things in there and, we see the outcome. Now, the interesting part is that now that we know some of the capacities of our soul, the fields, and its an interaction with our physicality. This is our first encounter with these interaction to observe a physical outcome, something that changed in the physical world due to this interaction that we never thought about. That soul can come down to this sort of the plane of our physical existence. It was a separate entity when we first learned about it. Now it's not. It's a familiar friend now. So can this friend operate in the physical world? It surely can. But in order to be more familiar with it, let's take a very simple thing that we all hear about is that, well, now that we know field, do we need GANs? And most of us here are used to using GANs. So I said, okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I drink GANs water, It's part of the water purification system that I have here. So it's the fields are there whenever I drink water of any sort. So can we replace these fields of GANs with the capabilities of our soul? It has to be tangible. So, one day I was cooking and, I got burned and I said, okay, so I said, okay, yeah, usually what I do is immediately I get my CO2 spray bottle and spray on it. And, it goes away. So that, habit, this has become a habit. Anybody in the household, any burned issue, it goes away. There are many other things like that, but this is one that I'm trying to address here. Can we replace that spray with our soul? So this is the experiment I did. I said, okay, I will extend my soul, and the field will cover this area, and the field has a very specific, intention associated with it, which is to stop this, burning sensation that I have on my hand. So I sat down and, I did it, it's like, few seconds, few minutes, a minute, at most a minute. And then within a minute, it went away. And no burn mark, nothing. So okay, so this seems to be working. So this is a very clear, to me, a very clear application without the GANs. I'm essentially creating an identical environment in my hand to remove the burn. So, let us have our friend, we call the soul, do some work for us. So this is the reason it was much easier than, let's say, our, in quote, big problems is that it's a very immediate, something happened and immediately I took care of it. Because there was not a whole lot of, my big burn, I ruined my hand, things like that. There was no drama associated and no buildup of large amount of emotion associated with this particular example. So it did work. And so, well, we can conceivably replace the GANs. That means we can essentially dictate our whole physical life through soul. And, if I get hungry, do I need to be hungry? I'll tell, okay, so I'll deal with the hunger. If I'm full, do I feel stuffy? I tell my soul, okay, deal with it and, we are fine. Stomach problem, all sorts of things. And instead of taking GANs, we just, the physicality, the food we consume does not dictate how we feel. We can make it feel better or good, food is enjoyable. It has its enjoyable element, but that doesn't mean that we have the option of coming the other way to it. Well, food is well and good, but we can do without. Or if we ate something wrong, we can also deal with that. So this is transmutation in the direction of physicality. So we are affecting physicality. In future when we do the whole body transmutation and all that. Yes, that's certainly possible, but it's fun to do small things on our own and to see that it works. So the transmutation is maybe to many, and even some of us, a big pie in the sky kind of thing. We heard about it as, yes, we can do it. We'll conceivably learn very soon. But that's only one part of the story. We can do a lot. So, I'm giving you the example of doing this experiment with our body. But now we can extend this idea to our community as well. The limit, what we can do does not end at the edge of my body. The community, the country, the people who speak the language, the planet, these are other levels of boundaries. And there is a physical reality in these areas too. Can we change them individually? Why not? Collectively? More so, probably. So these are things towards the peace and prosperity we imagine or we are thinking about. Some of the people, the hyperactive children of this planet, they're doing their thing. It doesn't matter. Their physical reality doesn't have to be ours. We can set the physical reality in a different way. It's like, I ate something bad and my stomach got bad and felt, terrible. That's the situation we have in a planetary scale right now. we feel bad in our stomach, it's indigestion and all these things. So let's get rid of it. We can do it at the level of the soul. We are doing it at the level of the soul, and the physical manifestation would be just like perfect health, perfect community, perfect planet. So this is something that we can think about, we can consider, and it's within our reach. All we have to do is just believe. Thank you.
Oh, that's so beautiful, Moshpit. Yes, we have to believe. We have to trust. From within, we have to create this trust. For me, thank you, Moshpit. Always. For me, this transmutation is coming. It's being going on. When the truth came, the intention, the truth should come out. And with the truth, I understand really, really, as Moshpit said, the prosperity and abundance, what it is actually. So it was hard. When we face the truth, you can see as we have this tangible physicality, we didn't understand. We just ignored, ignored what we have done and what is happening, and all the physicality that we have created. And sometimes it's so much of baggage. So and then we couldn't understand, or sometimes we ignore it, or keep the broom and all the junk under the carpet and forget. But when we say the truth must come out, you understand that how to create balance and where the need of peace is very much necessary. So there is this, well, for now, I know there should be no conflict at all because I have seen the injury, the deep, deep injury I've gone through. So there should be no conflict anymore, anywhere in the body of the Creator. So thank you. Thank you, my dear Moshku. So, yes, here is the bring the needs, bring the needs and wishes from your community to the Universal Council as one planet, one nation, one race for justice and world peace. Thank you. And I welcome you, beautiful souls, to have your head, I will say, of unconditional love. Indeed, absolutely. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. Suswagatam.
Okay, well, we do have a question in the Q&A and some conversation in that regard as well. From Saeed, who says, hello, blessings and peace. Does plasma science acknowledge the existence of other spectrum of energy, such as orgone, prana, chi, torsion fields? I believe they are different manifestations of the field strengths from the soul of the creator. Thanks. And then there was some other conversation in our chat regarding some other modalities as well. And perhaps the members of the Universal Council could speak to that. Does plasma science acknowledge the existence of other energy fields?
Well, I will say, Saeed, my dear, it doesn't, plasma doesn't acknowledge anything. It is the presence of all energies. A kind of energy level. It maintains an energy level. We call it here a level of different kind, of different unified field. But when here we say different name like torsion field or whatever you can say, the prana is the plasma. So everything is in the field, tangible or non-tangible, but it doesn't. Acknowledgement is here in physicality. It is not in this level of plasma. I will say plasma. When we say plasma, it is the interaction of fields in action. So I will say that all these names, as you said, all these names like the orgon, prana, chi, torsion fields, and all, they are all really the universal unified field of the Creator, indeed, and and a manifestation of plasma. I will say, in a way, tangible or non-tangible, a name for all levels, as we used to give of always. So there is no such thing as acknowledgement in plasma level. It is always that I am present. Yes, as Said, you are here. So it's so lovely about you and all that is with you. So this is how. And as Moshfik said, you have your individuality. You have your level of physicality and even the soul level. You have an individual's significance, an individuality. But you name it in your way. But for me, you are a lover. You are an unconditional lover. That's all. Thank you. Thank you, my dear. Thank you.
I'll add a little bit to what Shweta just said. Shweta talked about the unified field. So it includes all levels of energies. So we can call it in various names. Just like, right now we know that, we have in the traditional science, people differentiate between gravitational field and magnetic field. But when we come to plasma science, we see that it's just different ranges of fields. And it's the same story when you go to the strong force or the weak force that the current physics tend to talk about. And so we can call energy by any name we choose to. That's our choice. We have people from various languages here. We call the same object in different names, but it remains the same. So we have to, when we are in the unified field, we don't have to, we understand the whole concept. We can pick a piece and, when we are talking to somebody in traditional physics, we say, well, this is the range of field that corresponds to the strong field that they talk about in the nucleus of the atom, things like that. So, and you can even the conventional people have discovered that the formula for the gravitation and electrostatics are identical. Only the symbols are different. And some of them are considered constant and things like that, but they're not. Same with, let's say, the speed of light. As we know from plasma science, it can be many different kinds of speed of light. And so we can limit the world by saying that these are the fields we know, and there's nothing beyond this. That is, we are just putting limits. Let's say we consider a certain area of the energy, certain range of fields or energies, and call it something. Beyond that, no, we don't believe anything exists beyond that. And or if there is something, we come up with a new name. It doesn't matter. It's the same range of energies and fields, which Shweta was calling the unified field. And there is the unified field theory, the elusive unified field theory and the conventional physics, but once understand the whole spectrum of operation, from the macro. Anything can be macro, the same thing can be micro too. You can go between different ranges of fields. And then we start to see how we can create interactions, and all kinds of things can be done. The main thing is that no matter what names we have, can we make it useful? These strong force and weak forces, can we make them usable? There is nothing at this point. So things like that, we have to understand and make use of it. And we are often fond of coming up with big and complicated names, as I was in this science in myself, and this allow us to add a PhD or a degree, but it's a piece of paper with some scribble on top of it. But same with the names that we choose for our for different energy levels. It's the practical part that's more important. Not we can come up with 100 names, but it doesn't make any difference to the underlying principle, the unified field. Once again. So anyway, enough. I went a bit too far, I think, but nevertheless, maybe it helped many to understand certain things.
And of course, as I understand it, we're open to all knowledge, all knowledges, as there is no bad knowledge. And we're not arrogant enough to think we have the only solution for conditions or problems that we encounter. So we're open to all knowledges.
Yes, of course. Absolutely. Thank you, my dear Mom. Thank you, my dear Moshri. So beautiful. Yes, please. Any sharing? Welcome. Rick, is there anything more? Any sharing? Hello, can you hear me?
There's just a question in the YouTube about whether a password was needed for the Zoom meetings. It's from Michelle. I'm not sure if it's the same Michelle that's here. Michelle. Yeah, same Michelle. Michelle Miller wanted to know. I guess she found. I get it now. She was in the in the YouTube, and she found her way to the Zoom meeting here, and I guess she realizes she doesn't need a passcode for the Zoom meeting to get in. The public can get in without a passcode to our Zoom part of the show here. So welcome, Michelle. And I see they've had some conversation in our chat as well. So perhaps you can make a connection with the Keshe Foundation, with the organization that you're working with as well. Okay. Is there any other questions from, I'll remind the attendees here that they can raise their virtual hand, and then we can allow your microphone to open. If you have any needs and wishes you wish to bring from your community to present to the Universal Council. Now is a good time to do that. I'm a bit surprised with all the urgency in the world with the conflicts that are going on in various parts now, and perhaps even more in the near future, that we don't have more needs and wishes from communities. Perhaps they need to be made aware somehow that they can bring their needs and wishes to the Universal Council. I know that Marie works with bringing questions to her program, and they are addressed by the Universal Council. I'm just putting it out there to people in the public that there is an opportunity to bring your needs and wishes from your community, and you can present it at this last part of the One Nation program each week, and they can make it into a wish for elevation or to come up with solutions that will be practical and useful, and also on the soul and energy level from their hearts, basically. So that opportunity is there. I'll just remind people, if we don't have any more today, perhaps you might want to prepare something for next week if you're in your community and you find something that's appears to be urgent and needs to be addressed on a soul level to produce some deep changes that are more than can be done on just the physicality level.
And of course, Rick, there's many public meetings around. I think you can find those on the social medias in the many different languages. If you're multilingual or just speak one language, perhaps it's French. There's a French language community in the Keshe Foundation, Italian, German, Dutch, Portuguese, Spanish, and so on. So you can find links. Bengali is another one. Hindi, I think, is also coming or will be coming.
Many of those groups have groups in Telegram that you can join up to. So if you are of a particular language, you can ask, and we probably have a Telegram group that's set up already for that language. And if not, then a new one can be set up if necessary for communication to help people with various issues they might have, or to connect with others in the plasma community.
Yes, my dear Rick, all the, well, I will say outlets, the Telegram, all the links of Keshe Foundation will help you to join the plasma community indeed. Of course, this is the word, plasma community, the beautiful community of souls, beautiful souls. So, yes, there is a need of wishes. Well, I will say, please come forward if there are any wishes or if there anything to share. And yes, I also respect all your feelings and emotions, or all what you do. Thank you. Thank you for being here. So if there is no sharing for now, my dear Rick.
There's just one thing I'll mention, which is there was a couple of health-related questions in the YouTube, but I referred them to the email address for the Keshe Foundation doctors, which is health at spaceshipinstitute.org. And that's a good way that people can communicate with the doctors, and if necessary, set up a program with them or some sort of interaction. Okay.
Thank you.
Gee, I think
now we can go to the next slide.
Okay.
The soul world. We are here to serve, not to be served, my dear beautiful souls. Always at your services. Take what you need. The universal council. Be our prisoner. Thank you so much. And salam, namaste, salute. This is Shweta Anwar, UC Hindi language. And I all again welcome, Suswagatam into the beautiful energy, into the beautiful, beautiful world of Keshe Foundation. And welcome to the beautiful energy of all universal souls. As knowledge seekers, we are all. So, thank you for being here. Salam, namaste, salute, jump in, follow, love Keshe Foundation. We all love. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Shweta. Thank you, all members of the Universal Council and support members, for helping present today's show and working in the background for the benefit of all beings everywhere. Let's see. I think that brings to a close our 296 One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace and Justice here on Tuesday, October 17th, 2023. We'll be back next week for the 297th program. And our next public teaching workshop is the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group. And that starts at Wednesday at 7 a.m. That's Wednesday, October 18th at 7 a.m. Central European Time, which is equivalent to Tuesday at 10 p.m. Pacific Time. So that's later today in Pacific hours. That program is open to people that are new to the plasma technology as well as the old timers, and we welcome questions and topics of all kinds. All right, I think that's it for now, other than our ending tribute to the Flight Enhancement Spaceship unit. A little bit of music and dancing.
Music and dance. And
we've
all the
come to love. Very good. Thank you, everyone. See you next time around, and have a good day, night, or whatever it is, wherever you happen to be. Bye for now.